Is it at an
Always
angle?
have
This is
everything.
Antonio Mendoza, realtor extraordinaire. And so we're trying to get the cameras at an angle. I'm going to obsess about that for the next hour.
Oh, it's just barely.
But barely means it's there at an angle. Anyway, we're with Winging It Weekly, which we do every Friday morning at 10:30-ish. At
Give or take a
10:30-ish.
few.
And we're literally here to try and fix our camera. Oh, good idea. Oh, no.
Is that
Way
too
off,
much?
Way too much off. So we're trying to get the camera straightened up because it's at an angle and we're using a new tripod that clearly is not working. And
We're live?
we're live.
Oh.
Yeah, we are live with Antonio Mendoza this week. And so Bree, what are you doing? You're playing with leaves. It's our world. And so we're encouraging people to pop on live and ask questions and anything that pops into mind, whether it's real estate, life related. We're single moms, so we end up typically gravitating towards single mom conversations. You are a single dad.
You want my card?
You are a single dad. Antonio has
Put
2
my card.
boys.
Isn't it
I
better?
have
Straight,
3
yeah?
kids, and Bree has 3 kids. So I can't see any of the comments over there.
No, me neither. It's pretty.
So
I need my glasses.
we don't admit to that.
Oh.
We can't admit to that. It's against my religion.
Okay. Hey,
So
Tony,
here we
you want to
go.
sit with us?
So I'm now able to.
I don't know.
Here we go. I can share this
Cam doesn't
live
want
now. Can you type in our names and then post it live? So I'm going to start this with something that you asked me about last week. Bree asked me last week. She said, "Did you bring your sunglasses?" And I told Bree, "No. Remember, I told you that I dropped them and that they're broken." And she says, "Have you not fixed them yet?" So I wrote these.
She wrote
Especially for you, Bree, to
Thank
point
you.
out that I have not fixed my sunglasses,
Still.
nor have I bought them. But I'm not going to sit with these on because I feel like a moron.
They look cute.
Oh, they're so adorable.
I don't know if I posted it. I think
So, what
It's
did you
not
do?
that bright. It's all
Did
right.
you post it?
I just sent it to text
I'll
to
suffer
somebody.
with you.
You texted to someone? Did you share it?
No, not yet. It disappeared.
Disappeared.
If this isn't winging it, I don't know what is.
There we go.
Nor have I bought them, but I'm not going to
Start watch party. Okay,
Hey,
so I started the
Tony.
watch party.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I did it. So, where can we squeeze Tony in here? Tony, do you want to sit
In the
in
middle.
between
Oh,
us?
there
Yeah.
you go. My lucky day
So,
today.
the conscious.
Oh, he
Lord
brought
Jesus,
books?
He brought books. Oh, he did bring books.
Is this
Do
gonna be
you
good?
read?
Can you get in here?
Do you read, Tony?
Do I read? Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I do read.
So, Tony, we started.
Big happy family here,
Tony-
folks.
Happy families. Can't put my hand on your leg, can I?
Oh, whoa, hey.
So we start this out with.
Oh, thanks.
Hey Bree, what happened
Get out
funny
here.
to you this week? So hey Bree, what happened funny to you this week that you would like to
Should
share?
I? Yeah. I don't know if I want to share the story I just shared with you. Should I? That one was embarrassing.
Which one?
Sorry.
The Oliver one. It's always that kid.
Oh no, that's fun. No, that's okay to share. Just don't share about the Benadryl, but you can share about the experience. Go ahead, share that.
Okay.
I'm just going to call my leads here while you guys are talking, okay?
That's fine. You just call you. Think of a funny story. I'm sure you
Funny
have a
story.
million.
No, I don't have any
But
funny
Bree's
story.
going to share her funny story that she just
Would
shared
you
with
like to
me.
hear?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So it was
Does it have a
really
choice?
funny to other people. I'm sure it wasn't funny to me at all. I was really mad. So I was at my daughter's softball game with my boys last night, and we're leaving, heading back to the car, passing all these other baseball fields. When my little 3-year-old takes off running the opposite direction, and Hudson's chasing after him, and I'm yelling, "Get back here!
As
I
we do.
swear, if you don't stop, nothing worked." He just kept running, and he's little, but he's fast. Books it down to the end of the fence of one of these baseball diamonds, and then turns the corner and starts running down the inside of it while there's an adult softball game going. So there's balls flying, there's people. Stop.
Well,
That's what she said.
that's what she
There's people running, and I'm just like screaming at Oliver, trying to chase him and catch him. Finally, I got him, carried him back to the car. He was crying the whole way. Once he fell and got hurt, then he was like, "Oh."
I manned up and I did it. I dealt with it. Or that's when he started crying.
That's when he started crying. That's when he was like, I
see.
think it clicked, like, oh, I did something wrong.
And I'm that parent that said, "Is your leg still attached?" then you're fine.
The closer we got to the car, and the more he kept crying, I set him down and I kept walking. And I was like,
That's what I do.
"It's your fault."
And by the way, Bree Hunter is a photographer, real estate photographer with BHP
I'm a real
Photography.
estate photographer,
I'm Pamela
Johnny.
Mulholland,
You're a
transaction
realtor, aren't you?
coordinator,
Yeah, not really.
and Antonio Mendoza is a realtor. Antonio's
Just
a
on the
realtor.
weekends.
And so we wanted him to come on today to share his humor because we all kind of click pretty good, don't we? And with Larry Landau and Brian
Yeah,
Watson.
that's why
as
we're
well,
sitting
we
so
have great
close.
humor. Yeah.
Hey, whoa, hey,
I do need to be
come on.
closer. I do need to be closer. So,
Is that your,
is
is
that
that your
your
other
so-
arm? Oh, sorry.
No. 2 arms. So that's who we are. Anyway, that's who we are. And we do Winging It Weekly. Why do we do Winging It Weekly? And then I'll get to my funny story. We do Winging It Weekly because everything we all do is about networking and about growing our businesses. And obviously this is part of it. But for me personally, what I didn't expect to get from it was at the end of the week, I look forward to this.
I do too. As I was
do.
walking
Me too.
Shut up. Yes, you do.
Are you
You're
feeling
so
left
excited
out?
to come on here today, let's face it. So yeah, I look forward to it. It's kind of like a stress reliever for me. And anyway, that's what and making people laugh. I mean, I think we make people laugh. Well, I laugh at myself. So you want to hear my funny story?
I would love to. Yeah,
So-
what happened?
I got back from the podcast that we did with Antonio at his podcast yesterday, and I'm sitting at my desk, and all of a sudden paramedics roll up outside, and there's an ambulance, and there's a rig, and I'm like, damn, the boys in blues have shown up. A little history with them, and so they've been at my house a couple of times because of I have seizures.
Oh,
I have
okay.
seizures, and I have to kind of give you a backdrop of that to tell the funny story. Well, it kind of is funny to me anyway. It's probably not funny to anybody else, but I think it's hilarious. So because of my seizures, and I'm on such heavy doses of medication for the seizures, I get what's called toxicity, which when that is like an overabundance in my system, and when it hits, I'm down and out. I can't walk, I can't talk.
It's like me
I
on
can't
Friday
do-
nights.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It is kind of like that actually. So that happens to me, and it typically happens at nighttime. And it happened like a week and a half ago. So I was laughing about them being out front, thinking, well, at least it's not for me this time. Because it happened about a week and a half ago. So I'm lying in bed, can't move, can't talk, can't pick the phone up, couldn't call 911 if my life depended on it.
scary.
Airway starting to, I could feel my airway closing over. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to suffocate. I'm going to suffocate here. And I'm not even doing anything fun. So then what my mind went to was, all I could think of was, oh my God, Emily, that's my 17-year-old. She dumped out a pile of laundry on my floor, clean laundry, because she wanted the basket. Oh my God, if they come in here, my
See that?
laundry's all over the floor. I'm gonna look like such a loser. But that is what I like. So I'm lying there going, I can't pick the laundry up. What am I gonna
That's
do?
your thought.
That was my thought. Not about suffocating and dying, but it was about the laundry. So that was my stupid moment that I thought, all that raced through my mind yesterday when they were out front, because I'm quite sure it was still the same guys that came to me twice already. So that was my funny thought. It's like, oh, there she is, that's the one. So that was my
You guys read the
funny thing.
comments?
Oh yeah, I have
didn't
to start
see the
reading the comments.
It's not showing on my watch party.
Brian
Brian, where are the wings, Brian?
Brian Watson said, where are the wings? So Brian is who we do our mastermind group with. Isn't
He's
that the
one of-
same one? No, I'm kidding.
So it's a different
on a
Brian, sorry.
Thursday with the three of us and Larry Landau as well from Lightning Laser Cuts, and Brian is with Goosehead Mortgage. So there's no wing. Well, actually, more to the point, Brian, where are you? Right?
I thought he was bringing.
Isn't
the
Brian
wings.
supposed to
I
be
thought
here?
Tony was bringing.
Oh,
the wings.
Did he
Brian was
tell
bringing
you
the
he
wings, right,
wasn't
Brian?
No,
You got
Brian
it?
said he
Okay,
was
thanks,
going to.
Brian.
So Brian, where are the wings?
I'm bringing the sake, so I don't know about the.
Well, where is the
wings.
sake? You
in
didn't
my
bring the
car.
sake either? It's in your car? It's not here.
So,
So,
this is what you guys do.
This is what
so
we do.
this is what. And hey, Avel. Oh, he's on there. Hey. Oh, hi. Sorry. That's another story.
Yeah. I
That's
saw
another
that.
story. There's lots of stories in my life. So anyway, we want Antonio. You are our realtor extraordinaire in town.
Oh no.
So, what do you think that we could discuss about real estate right now? Something light, but something that you think is interesting to share with people and make them go OMG, or about a business. We've talked in the past about starting our own business as single moms, for us anyway, and women. We talked about starting a business and doing that. So what do you feel you can add to the pot?
Add to the pot, huh?
Add to the pot. Don't look at me.
That's
You
a great,
always
That's
look
a great question. I don't know. I'm
stir the
tongue-tied
pot,
right now.
or
I don't
how
know.
would you like to
You want me to
stir
stir
the
the pot? Is there
We can
realtors
stir
watching?
the pot. Of course, there's realtors watching.
I hope there.
DC. That's all I have on my page. So what do you think you can do to stir the pot and share some knowledge?
Share some knowledge. Oh wow, put me in the spot there.
Oh, that's what we're winging it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what we want to specifically talk about in real estate. There's so much stuff to talk about in real estate, right?
Or what funny? Well, what happened with you funny this week? Real estate related or personally? Let's talk about your
Funny?
personal life.
My whole life is funny, so that's
Can we talk
gotta
about
read
your
the book.
personal life?
Oh, are we talking personally or goodness
We talk about
gracious.
everything. Oh yeah, we've covered some great subjects. I don't know, just share something.
Don't act like you don't
Well, actually,
know us.
I wanted to actually share. I was gonna actually got both you guys a book
See how we
today.
deviated that?
So,
See how
here
we
you go.
got out of that?
Can I
So-
bring this to our mastermind?
Yeah. So I figured.
Yeah.
I was looking. This is for my personal collection. Sorry, don't
Wow.
don't
we're
take
not
this any
allowed to look
personally,
yet.
but this is for my personal collection. All right. Not from Barnes and Noble. And I wanted to find a book that none of you guys hopefully haven't read yet.
I haven't read either of those.
Okay,
I know
hopefully.
by looking at
Yeah.
them.
All right. So here you go, Bree. So you want some personal growth? That's a perfect book to read.
Wow.
And then I figured, since you do have
Problems.
not that you're problems, but you have a
Is it called
teenage
99
Challenges.
older kids than mine
Challenges.
are.
Oh
I
my
figured that's a
goodness.
great book for you to read on.
And we can keep this.
You
These
can
are
keep
for us?
it. That's
till you
add it to your
buy it.
personal collection. How I work it is, whenever I buy a book, I don't keep it on my shelf. I like to give it away. So hopefully it
I
passes on.
Don't
That's on the
know
knowledge.
if anyone can see this.
Conscious Parent. Great book, guys. If you have
Conscious
kids,
Parent.
teenagers,
The
So,
untethered
Yeah.
soul.
this book is deep. So I don't. Bree, you might have to read that 5 times to get.
Wow.
so oh yeah, that's bitch material there.
No,
So,
I'm saying I read it 3
on
times. So
next Thursday, the 27th, we do our mastermind group every other week, and so Bree is going to be leading the personal growth section of our
maybe she can talk about
mastermind.
that.
So it's not about work. It's not just about work growth.
Yeah,
It's
but
about so we have something really exciting. But we can't really talk about it because we don't want to blow
No.
blow the cover.
No, it's a really exciting book that I'm bringing.
Yeah.
But I can bring this.
looking
one,
forward
too.
to that book.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great book. So anyone who's in Temecula at 5 o'clock next Thursday, and
Or
we do it
Murrieta.
on the floor below, or Murrieta,
Menifee.
or Menifee, or French Valley, or San Diego. Anybody?
else?
LA,
actually,
Orange County.
California.
it's not.
Come on
it's-
down.
yeah,
Compton.
It's not
Shout out to
related
my
to.
peeps in Compton.
Yeah, it's not related to this area. It's just a real estate. It's a real estate mastermind group. But Bree's going to be leading the personal development. And,
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll be speaking
Using-
for what, 2 minutes? Yeah?
10 minutes.
120
minutes.
seconds.
No, no,
120 seconds, folks.
600 seconds. No.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
10 minutes, right? 600. I can't do my math right now. So yeah, that's what we're going to be. But thank you for these. This is really nice of you.
Yeah.
This is really nice.
I'll
of
need
you.
that in 5 more years. So I read it a
And what
couple
age are your
times.
kids again?
7 and 10.
5 years? Oh, well, you don't have girls. You have boys. So that's different. Girls, whole different. Oh my. So
So let's talk about
Let's
that.
talk
So-
about that. Let's talk about what transpired this morning from my 17-year-old. She texted me this morning. She goes, so when can I have my life back? I went, when can you have your life back? Well, when you're 18, you move out of home and you're paying all your own bills. I thought that would have been a good answer. And she says, you're destroying my single life. You're destroying my social life, and you're completely unrealistic.
Tell her
and-
she's destroyed yours too.
It's like, wait, okay, let's take track here of what you're doing to me. But yeah, so she said that she wants that I'm destroying her life, and she needs to have it back because she's been on restriction for a week for not doing things in school and not choosing to make school her priority. And so yeah, so what do you say to that? What do you say? I had
Read
plenty
chapter
to say.
3. It outlines what you
Chapter
need to
3
do.
will tell me everything I need to know.
Is that where the marker is?
Yeah, chapter 3.
I would die if it is in chapter 3.
Is
Are
it?
Are you serious?
Oh, it's-
Chapter 6.
That's chapter 6.
Double.
Is that for
I don't
I
Southern
don't think
Country?
you'll need SoCal.
Oh.
Shout out SoCal, that's real.
Hey.
Oh, since the way we parent mirrors who we are. Oh my God! Are you serious? Why did you have the
Talks a lot about our ego. because just like realtors, and I'll go back
Can I
to
have my
realtors.
card back, please?
We have egos, right? So
We do all have
we
egos.
parent the way we were parented when we were kids, and that's what it really talks about. It talks about the
To an
the
extent.
unconscious
I
parent
was-
versus the conscious parent.
Okay, well,
And I'll leave it at that.
I was parented differently.
I think I was too.
I was
Did you get
too.
wet on you?
I said,
We were
say it,
raised-
but don't spray it.
Hey, Carlos.
Gosh.
Hey, Juan Carlos.
It's you, Bree.
Nate, Doug. Hey, Alan. Alan's from Ireland. So,
Do you want to hear a funny story about?
Brian says that the wings are at Luke's at 1 o'clock. Well, some of us have to
Oh.
work.
I'm in San Diego.
Yeah, I have a shoot at 1.
You're on your own, Brian. You're going to be sitting there like a bump on a log
Sake
with
on
a
Brian.
bucket of wings and some sake and no one to share it with. That's no reflection on you as a friend. So the problem we have here, Antonio, is people don't want to interact and ask real estate questions. We choose to think it's
Nobody wants
because
to
they
talk
just
about
wanna
real
watch our
estate.
humor. Well, or
Yeah.
they don't. People seem a bit apprehensive about asking questions. Maybe they don't want to throw questions out there because they don't want to know where. We're not going to mention your name. If you want to text me on the side, very happy to answer questions. And actually, on that note,
I would
I
say
was
the
telling
same, but
people
my
to,
phone is live. Sorry, guys.
um,
So really quick, funny story. You guys know why you're getting drops of wetness on you?
Okay, well, is this a trick question?
So when I was a kid, I know.
oh my god,
This is a funny story. It's yeah, okay. So when I was a kid, I went to the park with my mom. We're sitting there, and we're under this tree, and we keep feeling these like drops of water touch us. I'm like, what is that? Well, some lady walks up and she says, "Oh, I think she said it was from the tree, and it was like natural stuff, and it was really good for your skin."
Okay, but when it fell on me, I was standing over there, and there was no tree above me,
There's branches.
and there's no
So-
birds.
But then come to find out, it's not. There's little bugs up there, and they're peeing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So that was a bug that just peed on
It
me.
just urinated on you.
Great, I just got peed on.
You
I got peed on sitting here
Well,
next
that's
to
just like
Bree.
being a parent, isn't it? When you have a baby and they pee all over you. If that ever
Yeah.
happened to you.
Oh yes.
So for real, that's an actual thing.
That's actually the thing. There's whatever kind of bugs they are.
You just completed my life, Brie.
You're welcome.
You absolutely
You're
just made.
welcome.
So, one of my friends on here says he can't get onto my Facebook page. It's not letting him on.
What was that one? What are you doing tonight? Oh,
Ooh, don't
Sorry.
discuss my personal life. Don't discuss it. So we're not getting any questions asked here. So
So it's on you, Tony. What do you want to talk about?
what do you guys want to talk about?
we
Here.
talk about anything. We don't feel that our lives are private because we have children. So therefore, our lives are not private.
So,
And
so
actually,
what value do you want to give to the audience today? What value should we give to them? Aside from the free
personality.
wings, if you get here in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. Why were you going to materialize the wings for? Do you have them stuck around the corner in a bucket?
There's a Buffalo Wild Wings one.
Yeah, it's open at 11, right? Is it open at 11?
Should have brought the wings over. What value? We don't focus on value. We focus on our
Yeah, we
our
don't focus on value. It's not about value, folks.
I mean, right now. I don't mean in general.
So what are some of your
For-
concerns, realtors? I mean, because you're a TC, right? And you're a
Right.
real estate photographer. Let's get
What concerns do we have?
So when you're speaking with realtors, taking their photos,
He's turning.
what are some of the
tables on us
concerns?
here.
Are they? I mean, I'm sure you're having a conversation with them, right? Aside from just doing their taking their photos. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people
Yes.
will have some concerns about the market or what's going on, challenges that they're facing right now. I mean, anything specific.
Not my agents.
So you guys don't talk to your realtors.
Oh,
Okay,
I
great.
do.
So-
I talk to a lot of my realtors are really good friends of mine.
Uh-huh.
So we do talk, but it's not about real estate.
Okay, let's talk about the other friends.
But the
realtors.
other agents, I don't know. The agents that I have are agents that are doing it. They don't focus on what's not happening. They focus on what they're doing. And honestly, that is the MO of the agents that I attract.
Mhm.
Is they're ones who are out there doing it, and they honestly don't. My agents don't focus on how bad things are or how
Or where
bad the
they're
market
going.
is. They're all go-getters, and they may not be closing 4, 5, 6 deals a month, but they're consistently out there doing it.
Right. So what are they doing to be go-getters to go out there and consistently produce? Because I talk to a lot of top producers, and they're they talk to me because they express their concerns, you know, because everything changes, just like in
Everything
life.
changes.
Just like, you know, when you guys read this book, you know, it's you learn it's about
Didn't
adapting, it's
realize
about
that divorce
growth.
was the right way to go.
Right?
Oh, we're not allowed to talk about what we feel is the right thing in life. For me, well, I have one agent who's really stepped up his game on social media, and he's going all balls out on that to start with, really with the heavy. They focus on the referral business.
Mhm.
I have a lot of veteran agents who hugely target veterans and active military. So
That's
that's
awesome.
their market, and they go after them. But I would say a lot of it's sphere of influence, and a lot of agents who get business off Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook, and that's where I get a lot of their business. Facebook and Instagram are
that's
two
where a
of the
lot of mine
platforms.
comes from.
That's where all my business comes from, aside from referral. It all comes from Facebook.
Referrals, Facebook,
Yeah.
and then occasionally real estate events when I shoot them.
Oh,
Right.
the bug just peed on me.
Yeah, there you go. That's real business.
I'm like,
So what about you? What concerns do you?
Me? I thought we were talking to Tony.
Oh no, sorry.
about
I was
you,
looking
Bree.
at Tony, but I actually was talking to you. I have a wandering eye, a lazy eye, a lazy eye. I meant.
Where are you looking, Pam?
Well, actually, I'm talking to you right now. No. What concerns do you have with realtors?
concerns you have with realtors?
Not with
Be
them.
careful what I say here. No, I don't. I mean, I don't really have any specific concerns with realtors. I have. There's always going to be realtors that are producing, ones that aren't. There's always going to be like an issue that I've seen come up in my industry is people who undercut in pricing. So there's always going to be
Right.
cheaper photographers out there, but at the same time, there will always be people who appreciate consistency and professionalism and oh hey
No, go ahead.
and you don't always get that with other people, but I mean outside of that it's
But people truly value what you do, and I've seen your work. Your work's awesome. Your work is
thank
awesome.
you, Pam.
It is awesome.
You make
You're
great
really
logos
good.
too.
You're
You know
really-
what I heard about you the other day?
Oh no, now it's on you.
No,
How about
not
you?
you.
No, you.
No, I
No.
heard. I was working with a realtor, right? And we had a couple hours before twilight. So we go to dinner and we're sitting down and she says, "You know Pam?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she says, "I just started using her as a TC and I was floored by the emails that she was sending and just how on top of everything she was. She loved it.
That's
And she
really
said, "You're
awesome to
super
hear.
sweet." She really wants to meet you.
I know. I have well, I would say probably half of my agents I've never met them. Some I've worked with for 10 years.
We should
I've
have
never
a
met them.
meetup while your clients meet you.
We should. We should do a meetup, a meet and greet. Go out and have water.
Thumbs up?
Yeah, we'll
water.
have some water.
That would be great. Who would like to do a meetup? Well, because last weekend we were supposed to be doing a night here, but we actually never got to that. Why is that,
No,
Bree? Why did we not do this?
Oh, my son had 2 races last weekend.
Right, so we couldn't do
So
that.
we were at the tracks all.
So one of the agents on here, George Kenner, has said, "Oops, why do I keep doing that?" George said to discuss privacy in our industry and CCPA. I don't know what CCPA is. George, what's
Is
CCPA?
that the Privacy Act?
It must be
California Consumer Privacy Act, I think. But
California.
that's kind of boring though.
Oh, that's that new form that's out. That's that new form that I see.
There's new
popping
disclosures
up
out there.
all the time. Oh, I see that.
I think I
one?
got you start signing those disclosures, or disclosures that
Oh.
photographers have to
There are,
to
yeah.
sign now.
But
There
you know
Maybe you
what?
guys can elaborate on that. Because you're TC, you know.
Well, there's the new one that's come out about open houses as well.
Mhm.
The new form that everyone is up in arms about, and realtor. Oh, you know what? Let's get your take on that. So there's this new form that's come out for buyers going into an open house. It's a one-page document for buyers to sign to say that they're aware that there's there may be video cameras in the house, blah blah blah. I personally think, because I have not connected on this to find out the details of it, I personally think that that is in reference to being signed with a buyer-broker agreement. When you start working with a buyer, you know what that is. You start working with a buyer. I feel that that's when that form's supposed to be signed. A lot of other people are saying no. It's to be signed when they go in an open house. So I'm like, you can't randomly just ask a buyer when they walk into your open house to sign a form. when you're not representing them, that's between
that's a turn-off.
that's between their agent and them. So have you seen that form yet? You may
I've
not-
seen it. I mean,
So what do you think? Do you think it's to do with when you sign the buyer-broker agreement with a potential buyer?
well, a lot of it, I think they're concerned about is the privacy, right? Because especially that's
it's
why
disclosing.
with photos, because a
Yeah.
lot of times you're taking photos of certain items in the house that may be private.
But do you
Yeah.
feel it's to be signed when people go into an open house? Like a random buyer walks into you're doing an open house,
Mhm.
and a buyer walks in, and you're supposed to sign this agreement with a complete stranger buyer off the street. I don't think that's when it's supposed to be signed. I think it's supposed to be signed with a buyer broker agreement.
I would think like if I had clients and I'm not able to show in, they go to an open house, it becomes something similar to that. But
I don't know. So if anyone
We'll
has
have to,
any take on that, if there's any
dig more into
brokers
that,
on here
but-
who have any take, and do you ever?
So how? No, I do have the photography agreement that is required, but I've noticed it's very rarely used.
I never get it signed. Never have any broker ask me to sign that or
Yeah.
to get that signed with their file.
There was a time
you
where
use
I
it?
had like a handful of realtors that sent it, DocuSign, and they said, make sure you do this. But then people just stopped again. So, and this is
Yeah.
something, that form has been around for a while. It's not brand new. But I don't know how important it is.
well, the purchase agreement is what, 16 pages now? How many pages?
The new one coming
New
out in
coming
June is
December?
16 pages. Yes.
December, right?
Yep. No,
What was it
June.
before?
June?
June.
It's
it
June
comes out
already?
in
Oh my
June.
goodness.
Yep, it's June.
Guess I should read it.
There's 6 more pages being added to the purchase agreement.
What are they?
I have no idea. I haven't looked at it yet. I haven't gotten to that. I have it on my computer. I just haven't gone over it yet to see what it is. But George wants to know about privacy. I have a take on privacy. So what's your take on privacy?
I'm pretty private, so.
I know.
Oh, that's it. You're pretty private. I think. Oh, I'm a big believer. If you're not doing anything wrong, then there's nothing to be private about.
Oh, really?
No. No. We're not talking about my stuff.
There were a couple topics that we decided we weren't
anyway.
going to discuss today.
No, there's a couple of topics we're definitely there's 2 topics for me we're definitely not discussing,
There's one for me, so
and there's one for you.
there's all of the topics for Tony.
Antonio's
He's just here to
going,
look pretty.
"Yeah, we're not doing anything." Yeah, but privacy for real estate, what is with the privacy? I mean, if you're opening your house up for people to look at it,
Hide your stuff.
hide your
mean,
stuff, lock it up. I
yeah,
mean,
put
what
it in
else is there?
closets or the
What,
garage.
what else is there to do? Buyers are walking around with their cell phones, they're taking photographs of property so they can look at them when they go home, show it to their mom and their dad and say, hey, what do you think of this house, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's so many different things,
Yeah.
right?
Well, there's a lot of stuff with privacy is concerned. I mean, I was reading, not in real estate, but I always like to tie things with Kobe.
Yeah.
So he just got, he had his actual funeral, private. It was a private funeral. Speaking of privacy, private funeral. But anyways, there's a lot of millions of fans out there that want to visit his funeral. But of course, the family want to keep it private. So I was reading the article. I guess a lot of people were going to this cemetery, putting flowers into somebody's grave that wasn't Kobe Bryant's. So I was like, what the heck? Because the family wants to keep private. They don't want like millions of people coming there because they want to be able to
That's
go
their
there
time.
and
Mourn
take
their
that.
loss.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to houses and listings, stuff like that, privacy is important because let's get real. There's a lot of stuff that we display in our house that are private that we probably don't want the buyer to see. Let's say with the elections coming up, you probably don't want to have certain stuff displayed in your house that may distract buyers from wanting to purchase the house. Like, oh, hey,
Like, what are you going to have inside your house that's to do with an election?
well, that's.
I
I don't get into politics, but
I don't
there's.
get into politics, but what kind of things would
Well,
there be in your house?
here's an example. Here's a story. Good story. I had a client.
Story.
We have a story.
It's funny, and I'm not going to use any different politics or anything.
No. We don't do politics.
But I was showing a house to a client, right? To a buyer. One of my buyers was showing them a house. So we're walking the house. They love the house. But then they were walking, and they saw some of this memorabilia of a.
Of whomever the party was.
Yeah, exactly. Of a president. Let's just say it's a president. And they were at that point. They were like, man, they were kind of like, okay, let's get out of here.
Really? That
Yeah.
makes them stop buying a house?
I've actually had some people say they say take your American flag, which to me that's way too much. But they say even take your American flag off the front of the house because it can
See, I just don't care enough.
it can
I
turn
don't
off
care.
fires.
Religion.
enough to-
I mean, there's a lot of stuff with religion.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a Filipino house, I mean,
A lot of crosses.
I make
what
the
house?
I make the like a Filipino house.
Oh, I thought you said the Pinot house.
Pino's,
Filipino
Pino's house.
wine.
My
We're on the
Filipino,
wine.
my Pinoy brothers and sisters out there. So basically, like I always make it fun because whenever I know if it's a Filipino house, if I see a Last Supper, you know this Last Supper, it's a Filipino house. It's not a Filipino house unless there's a
Keep
Last
my
Supper.
eyes open.
On the, yep. But I mean, just
So
saying
we
there's.
gotta find one. Are you Philippine? Is that where your heritage is from? I don't know. I don't know anything about
Okay,
you
so-
except real estate.
so
Did
back
I
to-
just insult you?
We don't have
No,
accents
I'm real,
like you.
for real.
Yours is a little more obvious where you're from.
Well, let me
Right,
see.
that's what I mean.
Okay, let me give my accent. So when you're walking in the house,
Oh.
I want you to. Oh, sorry.
I mean, it's
He's
your
very good at
heritage,
that
not where
accent.
you were born. I don't know. Where were you born?
Philippines. That's why I told you when you.
Why could you just not have said?
I thought you knew
Why
that.
could
Come
you-
on.
Why could you just not have said?
Did
Yes,
you-
Mom, I am from the Philippines.
Because you.
Why could you not
this,
just
this,
have said
this goes
that?
back to your topic yesterday. Like, what is the American dream? I said I'm living it.
Oh,
yeah.
there's nowhere in that said I'm living it because I'm from
Because
the Philippines.
I mean,
There's
it
nothing that
wasn't
said
to be
it.
like I'm being arrogant or anything, but it's like
No, I
as
liked it.
as somebody who's immigrant, you know, I'm an immigrant who moved out here. I'm living the dream, just being able to do
Be
this
here.
live right here at 11 o'clock to be able to have an opportunity. That's the
Right.
American dream. It's not about the
And
the money, the
No.
houses.
And I told
money,
you that I thought
all
that I
that.
said that was the best answer
Right.
out of everyone. It was you're
Yeah.
living the dream. For me, it's the same coming from Ireland, being here. It's my dream. It was always my dream to come here to live, and I just didn't know how.
I was gonna sing the song right now, the American Dream song, but
Oh, go for it.
you know the song, the American Dream.
You can stand on the table if you
Can you
want.
sing?
We'll do maybe next time we'll do the TikTok. If you guys
Oh,
comment,
God.
if you get let 100 likes, we're gonna do a
Okay,
a
we
dance.
know anyone who
a
Should
dance
we
in
do
TikTok.
TikTok?
I want to do. I have a TikTok.
So let's ask the audience. What do you guys feel about TikTok?
Talk
right?
about your Brian
Do
Watson
you-
and how you get to know new people. Okay, Brian, we'll go back
Do
to
you
that
think
for
that
sure.
TikTok can be used professionally? Or in a way to
Thank you,
promote your
George.
business?
Okay,
That's what I
let's
wanna
talk
know.
about that.
What was the question? Sorry.
Because my business is not dancing. I know it's surprising, but
It's not dancing.
It's not, and
My
it's
business
not
is not
lip-syncing.
dancing.
We back to
It's not lip syncing.
TikTok.
pole. Oh,
No, not that
dancing.
Kind
Okay, dancing. Brian wants us to go back to something, but we'll go back to that in a minute.
What?
Talk about you now.
So we're talking about TikTok right now.
No, we're not in that, but we'll go back to that, Brian.
So what is TikTok? What is TikTok, Brie?
TikTok coffee shop? It used to be a coffee shop in Maidenhead in England, and it was called TikTok Coffee Shop. And I always said if I have a coffee shop in the US, it's all covered in clocks. I'm going to call it TikTok Coffee Shop. Anyway, continue. What were you saying about TikTok?
And then they made an app about it?
Huh?
They made an app about it?
Right. Kind
Got
of.
it.
Spelled differently. So anyway, go on about
Yeah.
TikTok.
I don't know. To me, I think, high schoolers use it to dance and do stupid things. I don't know. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Is she wrong?
No, not really.
Because I've
Adults
seen
do
a
it
lot
too.
of it on Facebook. People are saying, is TikTok the next Instagram? But then they said the same thing about Snapchat, and I don't think Snapchat really was something you could use for business unless
I
it
don't
was
know anything about Snapchat.
risky business.
Risky business.
Well, TikTok is younger. The demographics of it are younger. There's a lot of adults on there, and they're saying that TikTok's going to be the next up and coming thing. And I think why it's going to be the next up. I don't know what your thoughts are on
Because
it.
those kids are growing
because
up.
those age group. Well, yeah, but that's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Because my daughter's followers are 9, 10, 11, 12. So like, if you've been waiting for them to sell a house, you've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think the demographics is going to change. It's going to start getting older. There's going to be older people coming onto it. You know, older, like not as old as Antonio, but maybe my age.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm the oldest one at the table here.
But we found out
I
you're not a
admit
baby
that.
boomer, so that's cool.
Baby boomers? I'm not a baby boomer.
Not a
I'm
baby boomer.
officially not a baby boomer. That's from 55 to. And don't even say, oh, you missed it by a year, or I will slap you. No, I did not. I don't know. Do you do TikTok yet? We need somebody
He
to teach
does.
us dances.
Well,
You do?
well, my opinion on not only TikTok but Snapchat or any of these other platforms is just it's not a matter of I'm looking at this. It's not a matter if you're going to get business off the bat. It's
Right.
these are all different platforms like
Like a line
whether it
of
be
them.
Instagram, Facebook, and all these LinkedIn and all that. These are different platforms that people are gravitating to right now to get information to follow you. So you want to be part of there, so that doesn't matter if TikTok's going to
Yeah.
be around and you're going to be in business, but I always say it's
But
the
you're
skills.
still learning about it, yeah.
It's the skill set that you learn from using Instagram, using stories, using Facebook Live. Like this is
That's true.
a couple years ago. Nobody was like, "What the heck is Facebook Live? I don't want to do Facebook Live." Now everybody wants to do Facebook Live, right? It's a skill set because then, especially
Yeah.
as a realtor, and I'll give you some tips to the realtors who's watching, because now you want it. It's uncomfortable, right, to talk
Yeah.
in front of a camera,
Can be.
especially live, right?
Yeah, because
Unlike
if you
your-
mess
unless-
up, there's no deleting it.
Unless you're pros like us right here, you know.
Right.
You know, we do this for a living,
We
so
like to
right?
make fools of ourselves.
But it's a skill set that you're learning. Just like that's the reason I started doing my podcast, because I mean I tell people, I've told you
Yeah.
guys in the past, I'm an introvert. A lot of people to this day don't believe I'm an introvert, right? They're like, no way, you're pulling my leg, right? Are you pulling my leg? No, you know. So, but it's a skill set that I had to learn to become,
Oh Lord.
to adapt to the extrovert world. I had to learn to adapt and work with them in order for me to be successful in my chosen career path.
Right.
Unless I was
Right.
just going to be a writer and I just take my room and just write.
Well, and I said to Bree, I think last week we'd mentioned that my first Facebook Live was thanks to Chris Brown, an agent in town. That
Chris
we
Brown?
met for
That's what I said.
Leroy Brown. No,
Oh,
Chris
the realtor.
Brown.
Oh, I thought you were talking
Chris
about Chris
Brown.
Brown.
And Chris and I went out for coffee way back a few months ago, not long after I first moved here. And he goes, "We're doing a Facebook Live at Starbucks." And I'm like, "No, we're not." And he goes, "Oh yeah, we are." And I went, "No, we're really not." Whipped the phone out, and we did a
And there you
Facebook
go.
Live, and it was the most uncomfortable, ungodly thing of my entire life. And it really was. I hated it, but I realized that I had to jump on the bandwagon or, snooze or lose. And
Get left
all
behind.
these different things we do, like we do the mastermind group on a Thursday. We also ride off your coattails on your podcast as well, and then
We're just
then
hanging
Bree
on.
and I do this, and Antonia's here doing this today. And everything you do, the more that you do, the more comfortable you get. And I think if you do TikTok, now you're going out and you're really stretching your boundaries. And so the more you do it in different ways and different ideas and angles, the more comfortable it makes you to do social media.
And just to let people know, TikTok is not just about dancing or lip syncing, you know. But if you want to watch me dance and lip sync, definitely follow me on TikTok.
I want to
But-
do it. I'm in for it. I
No,
wanna
because
do it.
it's just a regular, like a platform. You can
Yeah.
still record your video. You're in a listening video. You can still do this on TikTok.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, hey, I have to dance or sing or do some crazy
No.
stuff.
And when you get 1,000 followers, you can go
Yeah.
live.
Because there's a lot more, and just like anything, there's a lot more people viewing that right now. I mean, it's funny, when I first started it, I was doing a listing in San Diego, and I took a picture of the dog, and I got, right off the bat, I was like, what the heck is this TikTok? Right off the bat, I was like, I got thousands of like, whoa, what is this?
What?
And I'm like,
Dog?
of a dog. I'm like,
Yeah,
and
people
I realized
like
I need
dogs
to
and
get a dog.
babies.
Yeah.
Dogs and babies. If you're going to post a post on Facebook or Instagram,
I've got lots
it could
of babies.
be about. We talked about this. It could be about that
Disney
tree.
babies.
Last week we talked about that,
Mm-hmm.
the tree. Like if
Yeah.
you're going to post a story about a tree, if you're going to write about that tree, don't post a photo of a tree.
Oh, let me give you
Post
guys.
it of a baby or a
Hanging
dog or a
from it.
cat.
There,
right?
I have a new quote now
Or
for
what?
trees.
Baby hanging from it. is what
Baby
you said.
hanging from it. That's what I said.
And then
oh,
the
no,
next
sorry, hold
day,
on.
the next day I'm at a photo shoot and there's a doll with a noose around its neck hung up to the
to a barn,
the-
right? It was like a
Yeah.
barn, and that was after we talked about the baby hanging from the tree.
Yeah.
Because I said hang a baby from a tree, and she's like, whoa.
She's talking hang like
I went,
a normal kid hanging
yeah,
from a
that's
tree.
what I meant. I didn't mean like around the neck hanging, but then she goes to a photo shoot, and lo and behold, there was a doll hanging around the neck. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
What was I going to say?
I
Oh, no, I
know.
just came up with a quote right now. So basically, has to do with the tree and the bugs. So
And the bugs.
you don't measure a tree by the bug that pees on you, but you measure a tree by the fruit it bears.
Right. Or the
Has-
peppers.
Tony Real Estate, 2%.
Yeah, all the
Just
trees around me in my yard bear absolutely nothing, so that's a sign of why my life is
I
so
have
dark
palm
and dank.
trees.
No, you have palm trees, so
Yeah.
yeah, that
I
was
like
very
that.
insightful of you. You know what? On that note,
In other words, stay
Brian
optimistic.
sent
Be optimistic.
something
There you go.
this morning. I liked what Brian sent this morning.
What did Brian send this morning?
Brian Watson
Oh, I love that meme he sent.
sent.
The one with the. Oh, sorry. There's something else we were gonna. Whoops.
Don't disclose that.
sorry, Brian.
Brian,
We'll share
sent
that one later.
This here.
Podcast After Dark. It's at 11 p.m. tonight,
This-
so make sure.
This is what Brian sent, and I liked it. And he attached it to the
That's a-
photograph of
that's
our
a nice
mastermind.
picture.
And he said,
I
one
didn't see
person
this.
in pursuit of excellence raises the standards of everyone around them, and as they strive for greatness, they bring out the greatness in others. Be that one person today. I love that.
Good job, Brian.
Brian, right?
That
Good
was
job.
Really
That's
nice.
definitely.
Should make that into a poster.
Yeah, I asked him if I could share it. So Brian came back and said, talk about your networking methods and how do you get to know new people. I just covered all that, didn't we? Social media,
Yeah, social media mostly.
networking. It's all network. I mean, we do
Putting
everything we
yourself
do is
out
on
there.
social media. I mean, for us,
Be
the
real with
mastermind,
people.
the podcast, and this is all on social media. But ultimately, it starts in a room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about
Starts
networking.
in a room.
It starts in a room, and it's about networking and building relationships, not just
The
shaking
right
somebody's
ones,
hand.
though.
You are who you hang out with. You are the 5 people you hang out with the most.
So I'm looking for 4 people to hang out with the next 90 days. So please send me. Oh, sorry.
Who are you booting up? Me or her?
Yeah, which one of us are you getting rid of? Wait a second, Tiger. Wait a second. But you know, the prime
Whose phone is this?
example
Is this yours,
of
Bree?
that's
That's
Bree's.
mine.
Okay.
The prime example of
Bunch of
networking
realtors in it,
has
I don't
been,
know.
for me, a big thing was honestly meeting you. I'm grateful to have met you, and don't hold me to this.
Oh,
It's
telling
not a-
me? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I don't want
Okay,
you to
good.
throw this at me the next time. I'm just like, I'm not nice to you. I don't want to have this come back at me, but I'm going to give you a compliment. I really am going to give you a compliment.
Perfect. Let
Can
me
you
record this.
Can you go ahead, record it, knock yourself out, Tiger?
This is good.
Right? This is
Don't
good.
want to forget it.
Oh. Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
So my compliment to you is, don't bring in any new taxes. No, I'm kidding. So we met you, what, about 3 or 4 months ago? Christmas.
3
It
or
was
4 months
Christmas.
ago.
It was the Christmas pitch that we did for the Christmas pitch. You came to that
Okay.
pitch at that place.
What place?
I can't remember the
8-bit.
name.
8-bit
No,
room.
not 8-bit, the other one. And the Christmas one that we did.
Oh,
I didn't call you a
the
Christmas
one
one.
where
That
there
was somebody else. Oh, they're talking about
I'm
somebody else.
seriously
Great.
getting to the-
There's
There
somebody
was
else they're
one.
talking about.
ugly Christmas sweater.
Yeah, the
night
ugly
I wasn't-
Christmas
I
sweater.
wasn't
Yes, you
there.
were.
I
That's
wasn't
when I
there.
met you. Yeah,
I
you
wasn't
were.
there.
Anyway, so I got introduced to you vaguely through that, and then through Larry. And I'm giving you a compliment
But I
here.
wasn't
Could
there.
you chill out?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, wherever you were,
Okay.
I met you at some bar somewhere.
It was at Pachanga.
That's at Pachanga,
at the round bar.
Kelsey's. That's a pickup joint. I got stuck with you. No, I'm kidding. And so since being in your company, Larry, Brian, you, Bree, and myself, we've formed this little. It was around networking.
Like an alliance,
It was
right?
an alliance.
A real
It was
estate
like a real
alliance.
estate
Yeah,
alliance.
that's a
Yeah,
good-
keeping it
good
real
little
estate.
term.
And then we network, so we should
And
call
it's
it Real Estate Alliance.
Real Estate
Networks.
Alliance. And so it's a prime example of networking with what you said, the right people. And we've all really clicked. I'm not saying you don't have other people in your life that you click with, but personally, I feel that we're the 5
This
of us are
little
really good.
tight knit group formed.
Yeah, we
because
formed
of
this
you.
little group.
Oh, because of me?
Yeah, and
Ah.
it started around you. It did start around you. And I met with Larry. Larry wanted me to come and go out for lunch with you guys, and I did that, and it just grew from there. And it's about
then she
networking with
brought
the
me
right
in.
people. It's about networking with the right people, and that's an example of I feel that I'm growing as a person. Just don't throw this back at me. But I really do. Because of what we've started here, I feel that I'm definitely growing in a good way
It's awesome.
because of the group and because of you. So thank you. Okay, we're done now. That's the compliment
Great.
over. You can stop recording now.
That was 2 minutes. That's not bad.
And,
Nice.
well, you know, he's good at what he does. You're good at what you do. And that's
what
it.
she said.
And a conversation. Yeah. No, not that. No. Oh my God. I never
Okay.
know.
What about you, Bree?
Going.
About networking?
Bree.
Networking. No, I just agree with everything
Oh, okay.
she said. That's it.
That's it. We're done. Good. No, but networking comes.
Look,
It could
look
be.
at all these.
It could be. What? Look at all what.
They're
They're
laughing.
They're laughing at you.
Oh, they're laughing at me. 'Cause they're not laughing at me. They're laughing at what I said about you. They're like, yeah, that's not Antonio. Are you kidding me?
That's rich.
Matt, Scott, we have so many people on here. Hey,
What
Robert.
about you, Tony? Do you think that there's been any value brought to you? I know you bring like 99.9%
99.9.
of it, but
Wait a second. Hold on. I was giving him a compliment. I'm not going to give him that much credit.
I was being a little bit.
Well, my,
don't
as
buy
you-
sake,
well, my, I'll give these guys golden nuggets if they're actually listening here today. So, for any realtor, it doesn't matter if it's what profession you're doing. It doesn't matter if it's business, it's personal. But my thing, my philosophy in life is just really about connecting with people.
Yeah.
It's about the experiences and connecting with different people. That's all. I'm gonna tell you the secret of life. That's all what life's about. Is the experiences we have and connecting with the right people. I mean, we're gonna connect with wrong people, and that's part of life. And I think
I like
what
all those ones.
and what I've learned from plug some of these books from the Conscious Parent, or even
I'm
even
looking
here,
forward to this.
and
The
Tethered
Untethered
Soul.
Soul.
A lot of this it goes a little deeper, but a lot of it is really, because a lot of times, I don't want to get too in depth with it, but this talks a lot about our ego, right? All of us have egos. It doesn't matter like, oh, I got that nice car, I
Speak for
look
yourself.
nice, but we all have this ego. Doesn't matter what it is, it really sets our standards in life, right? Like, hey, you know, and that's what this Conscious Parents talking about, is like we project that to our kids. Like, our kids are supposed to act a certain way. They have to look a certain way, right? So I think once we learn to accept that it's our ego that's that's influencing us, we are able to evolve and grow as a person. I think that's the most important thing, and that's why, for me personally, and I told you guys this in the beginning, is it's not about the value I'm giving to you guys; it's the value you're giving to me, because you have value. Bree has value. Who's the other guy?
So you're,
Ryan.
so you're,
Larry.
using, so you're using us? Is
So
that what
I'm
you're
using
saying?
you guys, right? So it's what
But
about
we're
this,
using
right?
him, so it makes sense.
Because all you are as a
Users.
person, you become
Oh, wait, we're
you
users?
become the person you associate with, right? Now they can be
you are
good
who
or
you hang
bad.
out
So
with.
if you have a
Yeah.
negative mindset, you're probably hanging out with negative people. If you have a poor mindset, stop hanging out with those broke people, right?
Stop hacking. Yeah.
So it's real simple, I
true.
think, and that's what, for me personally, and that's why, that's why we're creating this real estate alliance. It's not about, hey, whose team are you on? Whose broker are you
Right.
on? I mean, how much money am I making for you? No. And that's why, I mean, when I tell you guys, I look forward to trying to find business for you guys, whether it be my
Yeah,
business.
no,
It's
I
not
know.
even about my business,
No,
because
it's not for you.
it's
For
about
any of
if
us.
I can get somebody else's business that doesn't even know you
Eventually,
to do
it comes
business.
back to you.
To me, that's more
What
valuable,
goes
right?
around, what goes around comes around.
Yeah, you help enough people get what you want,
Yeah.
eventually you get what you want,
But
right?
you know, on the subject of egos, I'm one of those people that I listen to, and I'm going to throw women under the bus here. I listen to a lot of women go on. No,
I'll do
I'm
it
okay
too.
with this. She's going to do it too. I know she will, I think. But
Yeah,
I
there's a
listen to a
different
lot of
mentality
women
around it.
talk about man and their egos, and they go on about them, and they're this, they're that. They think they're full of themselves. They have, their ego gets in the way, and I'm listening to these conversations, going, yeah, and so do women. We all have an ego, and it's not so much that men have more of an ego. It's certain people have more of an ego than the
Right.
other one, and that men do this and men do that, and that just, you see what happens when you bring up egos is that I'm the first
There's a
one.
chapter there on ego, so there's
Great.
different types of egos.
No, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I listen to a lot of females bash guys because they have an ego. And it's like, you know what? I have an ego.
We
know
all
I
have an ego.
We all do. But I own mine. I don't say to people, "Well, I don't have an ego." It's like, I know I do. I know there's certain things
We
I have
all
an ego
do.
about. And we don't like to have our egos bruised. You can be arrogant about your ego. That's a whole different story. You can be super arrogant about it, but
Yeah. And that's why as human beings we get upset. It's because it's not we get upset with that person. We're getting upset because of our ego. It's affecting our
Right.
ego.
That's
So a lot of
true.
times we project the blame to the other person, to our husband,
Yeah.
to our spouse, to our clients, to our manager, to our broker. It's his fault,
Yeah,
because
that's
it's our ego.
responsibility.
So if we're conscious
how
about
we
it,
react
exactly.
to it. It's how you react to it.
Yeah.
Is how the outcome. Whenever I took Emily and I used to go to a teen motivational weekend 3 times a year, and one of the things they teach every single time is E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals the outcome. And they say, okay, the event's going to happen. Whatever the event is, it's going to happen. You can't change that, but how you respond to it
Mhm.
is going to determine what your outcome is, and that's something that I'm struggling with right now, is getting pulled into things that, and I'm really struggling with it right now, I'm going to be honest, is my reaction to certain things that's going on right now is, I know is stupid. It's my fault. I'm reacting to it, and it's definitely determining my outcome up here
Exactly.
daily right now on certain things.
No, and it affects your mood, which
Oh, it's-
affects everything else.
It affects everything, and so I'm struggling with that, is how to put a stop on it every morning and go, oh my God, would you get over yourself and just stop reacting, but it's not easy. It's not easy to turn away from things that are going on. So I need to find, and my way around it is, what do? I just laugh.
Well, just
I
like
laugh at things that shouldn't be laughed at,
Yeah.
but I laugh at them anyway.
Just like when we blame people, like he makes me so mad or she makes me so angry. My boss makes me so angry. How I look at it now, I've adjusted once I learned, it's like, why am I giving that person so much power to make me angry?
Well, they're not
Right.
making you angry. They're not making you angry. You're allowing.
Exactly,
You're
that's the
choosing
thing.
to be angry
Exactly.
about it, and that's.
And that's when you learn to realize you have no control of that. You can control your emotions.
Or you control
You know,
your
you can be in a
emotions.
positive state or a negative state, right?
And
But
handle the situation
Exactly.
as best you can.
And
So-
when your child gets up and runs across a baseball field amongst other people playing
Whose
baseball,
kid would do that? Wow. What
Whose
an
kid would do
awful
that?
mom.
Yeah, mine do things.
you need that mom, right?
Like
I know.
back to Kane lighting a fire on the patio last week. Oh my God, we talked about that. Yeah, he did. My 10-year-old, my 11-year-old.
That's why I thought
lit
the
a fire.
fireman was there yesterday.
Next time I'll know. the
Fireman's
light
there
fire.
every day,
No, I'm
huh?
Is that how you get them?
kidding. Not funny.
We'll talk about that in our workshop coming up next week.
I just think I should just stop dating. It's just not in the cards for me.
Well, I think when you focus on other things, sometimes that naturally comes into your life. Sometimes it
very lo-
naturally leaves your life. But
I'm a loyal person. I'm loyal and too trusting. What do you have to say on that?
That you're loyal and trusting.
No, just about being loyal and trusting.
Well, those are
I'm
two
trying
two
not to
good
be cynical.
characteristics,
Trying so
I
hard
guess.
not to
You
be
know.
cynical. Right?
But-
I guess. What do you mean? I guess.
yeah, no, they are.
You'd like to
If
date
you're with
somebody
the
who
right
isn't
No,
person.
we're talking. Oh, we're getting to dating now. Okay, great.
Oh,
Let me-
we talk about that. Oh yeah, we talk about dating.
Yeah, we don't talk about dating on your podcast. We
Okay.
talk about
So
dating.
we're allowed to
We
talk about this.
everything.
Okay, well,
talk
in that
about
case,
dating
let me
here and our
take my tie off here, and we'll talk. We'll really get down and.
dirty.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
That's what she said.
Down and dirty. It's the same topic. We keep it to a certain level of decorum. Yeah, no, we do. We talk about that. So let's talk about dating.
Okay.
Totally. Not
What
you
about
and
it?
I dating.
No,
That's
no.
not what I meant. That kind of came across that way. No.
By the way, I'm not.
I'm
dating
gonna
when I-
leave now, you guys. I feel like the third wheel.
Hey.
No funny.
But I think let's tie in dating with real estate because a lot of things with dating and
no,
also
that's my
prospecting.
problem. That's
Yeah.
Because I talk about this too when I do a sales workshop. It's really similar to dating. When you're going out, when you meet somebody in an open house, or you call somebody for the first time, a lead, or whatever the case is, or somebody gave you a
The
referral.
butterflies in your stomach.
Yeah, you're still kind of like, you don't know what to say. You don't want to say the wrong things, right? So
Right.
you're still trying to be perfect, right? Until eventually you've gone to 5 showings, or for 3 months you're going out showings, and eventually like you're not wearing a tie, nor like I'm still doing showings because I still gotta look proper. Give me a couple weeks, I'll probably just be like a t-shirt and all that, right? But probably not because I still like to.
You always
still like
you
to-
always dress up.
But what was I saying? So similar to dating, right? It's the same thing, same concept. Is end of the day is this is I keep it simple with everything, and I think I've said this before.
It's my breakfast.
My lunch.
Their breakfast too.
My dinner.
It's a real talk one. Hey, what was I saying?
You were saying about tying dating into real estate.
Oh.
I really would. That's no.
No, what I'm saying is with relationships, because relationships is whether it be personal or business, it's all about relationships, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable around you guys.
All right. But in the beginning, you
Not
know,
dating though.
in the beginning you needed like 10 shots, right? Then you loosen
Oh,
up.
15 at least.
So after a while, then you loosen up, right?
So you're talking about photographs. You're
But,
talking about shots.
But I remember I said this to Pamela. I think the first time we actually sat down and with Larry and all that.
Holy
Before we actually, is it Pamela? Before we actually started this, Real Estate Alliance Network, I said, it's all about expectations, right? I've moved forward. I've learned right now from my experiences is a lot of the reasons a lot of things don't work out, whether it be relationships or even in business, is the expectations we set. So I'm upfront with everybody's like, what's the expectations up front? Like, if you tell me you're going to do something, do it. If
So-
not, then you set the
So
expectation.
you're saying when you go on a date, because we're coming.
Okay,
back
so
to
let's
dating.
tie it to dating. Okay, so
Wait,
expectations.
This is tied into dating.
All right, let's
So
say-
you're
let's-
saying that when you go on a date, you should sit down on your first date and go, okay, here's what I'm
No,
expecting.
no. This is my thing is what are your expectations? So if let's say you meet somebody on a dating site, all right?
Oh,
I don't
God,
go on dating
no.
sites. Don't believe those.
No.
But if you meet somebody on a dating site, you kind of this is kind of like the good and the bad about dating sites or apps, because you actually kind of already are prejudging who that person is, right? Because it says everything about you already know how they look like, what they like, what their favorite quotes are, what they like to do in the summer, right? You know everything about them, so you already got expectations. right? Man, this guy's got a nice car. He's got money. So whether that's consciously you're saying that, unconsciously you're already thinking, this guy's money, he's got to treat me right, right? Or he's a parent.
No.
Or like he's a parent, you know,
don't look at
unconsciously
that.
you're already thinking.
Well, I
Yeah.
suppose maybe
Yeah,
in
you,
general.
whether or not you want
I'm a
to
little
admit it, you're already unconsciously you're already thinking,
Well, yeah.
have some expectations you've already set place. So that when you sit down with him and things start working, it's like, man, he lied in his profile.
I judge a person by
Right?
their ability to
Catfish.
parent.
Catfish. Who's been catfished? Like, come on, you been catfished?
I do. I look at a person as a parent. If you go on a date and somebody portrays himself, or not portrays himself, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. If someone's talking about their kids and what they do as a parent, that there's golden to me.
Yeah.
That is it for me. You can, because that kind of outlines a lot of what you are like as a person. It doesn't mean that you're great. I don't mean that, but if somebody's a good, from my perspective, if a guy's a good dad, that speaks volumes to me over
definitely.
money you make or where you hang out. I don't care about that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you know, if you were going on a date with a girl and she was an ass of a woman, would you want to date her? An ass of a parent, I mean.
Is it J-Lo? Is it Shakira? What are we talking about? Ass of a woman?
No.
No, sorry.
Okay, that was very good. Actually.
If she was a bad parent.
Oh,
If she
okay.
was a
bad.
bad parent
Or
and you
just
didn't
didn't
agree
care.
with her way of doing parenting, or she'd given her kids up and saw them,
Well, then I would
whatever the
think you're
case
not
may be.
compatible.
I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But probably there's a whole bunch of people in here who are going to go, wow.
Well, and that comes back to the experiences and connections, right? Because you're going to connect with certain people and you're not going to connect with certain people.
Right.
That's a fact. The problem is, and this also applies to our children and to everything in life, is we try to project things and want them to be a certain way. We want our husband or our boyfriend or our girlfriend or our manager to be a certain way, to act a certain way
Right.
all the time. We want them to be perfect because we have these expectations that was built upon the years of our experiences from watching TV, watching movies. You know, I like watching movies too, but this isn't the movies, right? Things are not perfect in life. So a lot of times, but we're building those in our unconscious mind that, hey, this is the perfect guy, right? I mean, let's go. If I
I don't
ask
think
you,
I'll look into it that
right?
deep. I think my mind
'Cause
works
I get-
really
I get
fast. It
really
goes
deep.
in
Oh,
5
so-
I do
seconds
too.
flat.
No,
in
I
5
plan
seconds
out
flat.
like the next 10 years
Right.
in my mind,
Yeah.
and if the next 10 years
Well,
don't
yes.
line up, then I.
she already
that's
breaks
the
up with him
person
before.
last night.
By the time, hi, my name is Brie. Okay, it's not gonna work
Well,
out.
I have a really pretty.
It's not you. It's me.
If you get past the second date, it's
my fault.
kind of
It's my fault.
it's a big deal for me.
No, I have a really nice wall. I have a beautiful wall that keeps getting thicker and thicker, and it has jewels on the
Yeah,
outside.
we're
to
gonna give her
deflect.
some counseling here right now. Free
Yeah.
counseling.
No,
That's
No, just
my
kidding.
counseling.
I've
No,
noticed
no
that with
counseling.
me, if I
Just lunch and dinner.
personal, yeah, that's my dinner. So
What's
Oh,
your
my
worst
bad.
date, Bree? Because he's not going to answer the question, so we're
worst
going to
date.
stay away from him. What is your worst date ever?
I don't have worst dates, so.
I don't know if I've ever had like a really awful one.
Dig deep.
That was too easy.
Right.
No, I
Dig
haven't
deep. What's
had
your
any really
worst?
bad ones. Just ones where I leave and I'm like, oh, well, that's not gonna work out. Or I leave and I'm like super excited and then they don't follow up. So.
Right. yeah.
But I think
I
with,
got a lot going on, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
but I think with when it comes to,
Right.
it's kind of hard to like have a.
Right.
And that's the guy's a douchebag or the woman's really really terrible. To have a really bad first date in the sense that
I've had
your
a really
first
bad
your
date.
first date usually we're not ourselves on our first date. Let's be honest. Very rarely are people
Pretty much me.
who they
No,
are.
I don't know.
if you are, that's great, you know. But there's a lot of stuff you don't disclose right away. I'm assuming the first date you don't tell all your life story right off the bat,
Yeah, probably
because you're probably gonna lose them right there. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick, and then damn, it's been in the
Where
bathroom
you
for like
go?
a while, right? I mean, if we want to keep it real, I mean,
When I get
we-
to
we
my
don't,
age,
right?
I don't have to. I mean, yeah, you hold back, but you don't like talk about.
Now there
you
are
have
some
to- you have to
apps
let
that you
certain
don't
stuff
have to
out.
like. You just go in there and
Yeah,
say,
you
hey,
have to wait for
don't
certain
even
things
waste.
to line
Yeah.
up until you're comfortable enough to share more and more and
yeah,
more.
because it's connect. You're building a
I don't like
relationship,
apps.
right?
Right.
Now, of
Yeah,
course,
apps are
there's.
bad.
Hey, we're not going to talk about other factors like, hey, I don't even need to know your name. No.
You don't need to know any of that.
And they
Just
just-
cut to
right?
the chase. Yeah, no.
And that's what bars and clubs are for, right? So, you know.
What do you do at bars and clubs?
I don't go.
I do my workshop there.
My worst date, the worst date I ever went on was with a guy from another country. He did live here, but he was
country,
from
huh?
another country, and he was maybe in hindsight finding out while we were on the date that he wasn't maybe in
this
the
a real
past
friend?
involved in great things. and I got every ailment from his tip of his toes to the top of his head in like an hour. By the time I was done
You
with the
just
date, I'm like,
spilled
I'm
out.
knackered. I'm so knackered, which means
Knackered.
yeah,
I love the words you have.
knackered.
What'd you say?
Knackered.
Knackered?
I have no idea what that means. Is
You want to know what it
It's
means?
like tired, exhausted.
that what it means? Okay, knackered.
Okay, no, I'm just going to say it. Knackered means tired after sex. So
Oh.
in Ireland, we use the word knackered to mean.
I'm not going to use that
No,
word.
no. We just use it to mean I'm really exhausted. But that's the true definition of it.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so there you go. When you hear me saying knackered, it doesn't actually mean that. It just
So
means
it
I'm
means
really
that.
exhausted. So after this date, I was definitely
Good
not
to know.
knackered. But after that date, I was so emotionally drained from listening to this guy talk about his shoulder and his this and his that and his bumps and his bruises. And it turned out that he was actually, his birthday was the same date, same month and day as mine. I'm like, oh, stay away from that.
Right.
And that was a really bad date. And then he tried things that weren't okay. So I got in the car and went, hell no, and left. So that was a really bad date. And he said, let's do it again. No,
No.
let's not.
But just like dating and sales, it's, you can't just say
You're not allowed to do that.
you can't just I like to tie everything to sales is because just like anything is you have negative experiences, right? Remember, it's all about experiences. Everything's not going to be always positive. There's always going to be negative. The problem is you can't just base your negative experience on that one event to prevent you from experiencing a great experience
Oh no!
in the next
no.
event or next
no,
date, I guess.
absolutely
or
not.
next client.
No, if I did
Next
that,
time
I
you're
would have
knackered.
stopped. I would have stopped.
Otherwise, you'd be
dating 20
knackered.
years ago.
Hashtag
I
knackered.
would
I have to look that up how to spell that, but
have K-N-A.
oh, it's K. I thought it was N.
K-N-A-C-K-E-R-E-D. Knackered.
Connive.
Knackered. I'm a knackered. Oh my god. Yeah. So anyway, that was my bad experience. And we're gonna ask you. I like your cufflinks, by the way. We're gonna ask you about your bad dating experience, but you're just not gonna tell
me?
us about a bad
Yeah,
date.
do you have
We don't
any?
need to know the details. It's just, was there a bad date?
Date. I mean, they're probably not gonna be, but I don't really don't date.
Well, here
Because
we go.
okay,
Here
I'm
we
gonna
go.
you guys.
Evading.
Everybody's gonna like throw everything at me,
evading,
all right?
evading.
Okay, so well, let me
Just a bad experience.
let me elaborate. Is that the word?
Yes. Please
All right,
do.
so because I don't like setting expectations, when you say you're going to a date, expectations are set.
Can you just tell us about the bad experience?
Well, that's the thing. I can't really say I've had bad experiences on a
you're
first
lucky.
date. I mean, there's
Or a date.
there's been bad connections, but I mean,
Just a date. It doesn't have to be.
because
first
end of the
date.
day, I mean, I make every experience great for whoever the person is.
Yeah.
And on that note,
I try to turn things around mentally, no matter how bad it is. I turn it around mentally to focus on the good parts of it, and then the bad parts and that person I just dismiss from my life.
I just remembered
you
okay.
overlook them, or you just dismiss the person, or you overlook the bad parts. And what is a
I
bad part?
acknowledge the bad parts. Well, for instance, you both know what happened last Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, it's like you take it in, you acknowledge it. It wasn't a date.
I was going to
But-
say that wasn't a date,
No,
though.
no, but in all things though, and then you just kind of, I don't know, avoid or push that negative part away and focus on the good parts of the day or.
Oh, but
the whole day out,
that's shoving that whole situation. That's not taking the good parts of a person. That's shoving the whole
No, well, that's what I'm saying,
away.
and then you dismiss
Yeah.
that person.
Actually, I do remember a bad day now. Thanks for reminding me. I had to put it.
The day you met
I
me.
threw it right away.
It's the day you met me,
I threw it
right?
way in the back of my mind, so I couldn't remember this. But it's actually before, when I was younger. I went on a double date, so that does count, right?
That counts.
Double date. So it was a
That's fun.
blind double date. Well, actually, for me, it was a blind date. I should have actually been blind because.
Was she?
No, but.
That bad.
But it was one of my friends met this girl at I think it was like a club or bar, I forget what it was. But he asked me like, hey, I need you to go with me to kind of like a double date, meeting with this girl, but she's bringing her friend. I'm like, and you know me,
Take one for the team.
I'm like, well, before I say take one for the team, send me a pic. But back then, it wasn't like social media where you can
No.
look
no,
everything
you
up
had
and
to
all
print
that.
the photograph off
Right,
and
so I
drive
said,
it over to your
I said,
house
no,
and
hey,
go,
she's,
here she is.
her friend said
There's
she's.
a family photo of
And
her
you
when
know,
she was 15.
and you girls, you always go like, she's cute, right? I was like, all right. That's what the girl said to him. Like, she's cute, right?
Well, except you have some.
So anyways, I went on this date at I think it was like a coffee shop or somewhere over there in LA. But anyways, I was like, the minute I was like, you know, I'm like, okay, where, you know, you're like, where's she at? Who's it? And I already knew, and I've known my friend, never trust him again. Like, never gonna hang out with this guy because I know his type. But anyways, long story short, I was went over there. I was like,
Oh,
Alicia.
You just hung up on her?
Well, you know, she's been texting me a lot too. I think my 1 o'clock just canceled.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
It's
Mother
back
love.
on again.
Back.
which one first?
What's that?
No, somebody just texted me.
Oh,
So
and
you
my
had a
watch
bad day.
party just.
So that was
No, but it wasn't necessarily
iPad
a bad day, but it was just not somebody I would hang out with.
my iPad died.
Oh,
okay,
no.
it's still on there though. It'll still be on there, right?
The watch party? I think the watch party ends.
Does it? We need to end though anyway, don't we?
Yeah,
you
it's
didn't
been
get
about
to
an
finish your
hour.
story.
Yeah, finish your story.
Finish your story.
Okay, what was the story? But man, pretty much the story is, I'm not gonna go too much in detail, but it wasn't really what I was my expectations, because that's the problem. You know, when you set high expectations, you set yourself up for failures. But even
Right.
though it was probably, I mean, my friend knew, it was like, oh man, my bad. I probably made her day. The girl was
Right.
dating. I made her. She was laughing all night. She probably was in love with me afterwards.
Did you talk about real estate?
And she even asked for my.
Did you-
No, this was before real estate and
Oh,
all
and
that.
then you broke her heart.
So she was like, and afterwards,
her in, and then you
afterwards she
broke
was
her
like,
heart.
my friend's like, hey, kid, you want some more? Ah, God, you know.
But you didn't
I think I
like
said
her?
I was going to the Navy or something.
That's unfair. That's hard.
No, but I was like, hey, you know, I'd say, no, I just want to be
He
friends.
told you you were joining.
It's
the
not,
Navy?
it's not me, it's you. Kind of like, you know.
Mm.
But you know,
I've never said that.
I think it's the other way around.
no.
And I've had
It's
that
not
said
you,
to
it's
me
me.
once.
Oh.
I've had that said to me once. It's not me, it's you. I'm like, okay,
Oh.
whatever. Yeah.
I haven't, but
I've had that
there's
said that once.
probably been men who have wanted to say that.
Yeah. There's. Yeah. My ex-husband probably wanted to say it a lot more than he did. But okay, well, Antonio, thank you, Antonio.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. It's been nice talking with you.
And thank you so much for the book, The Transforming Ourselves, Conscious, Empowering Our Children Parent. Is that the name of the book? Or The Conscious Parent's the name
Conscious
of the
Parent.
book? It's like, that's a really long name. The Conscious Parent. So,
Transforming
yes,
ourselves,
Anthony
conscious.
brought
For parents,
this here for
definitely
parents.
recommend you guys read that.
For parents. I love
next
I'm
next
so
week,
thank
I'll
you.
bring you guys another book.
it. Can you sign it?
I'm gonna need that
Oh,
after
you didn't write it? Okay.
You should. You guys read the 5 Languages of Love?
I haven't read the book, but
Probably
I've done
need
the
to.
test.
I probably need to.
You guys should discuss
What's
that
it
next
about?
time.
We
I'll let you guys read
should.
that.
What's it about?
Since you guys like to talk about
The
it.
5 love languages.
There's actually one for business too that they created.
Oh, that's good.
Is it a good book?
I don't know. I haven't read it. There's a test.
I read it after
to
my.
find out what love language is.
It was too late after that. I started reading
After
it.
you
Priority
wise.
It was too late.
Oh, I definitely need to read that. I need to make my time more priority away from my kids and away from my work. I know that. We talked about that yesterday. But basically I just need to get a life.
Well, if you start reading that, that'll make you
That's your life right there.
force yourself to take that time.
Yep, I need to make that time. But anyway, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Bree, always a pleasure.
Always.
Always a
I
pleasure.
see you like almost every day lately.
I know it's good.
It's nice. I like it.
And these are my glasses that Bree wants to know if they're broken or not. Did you see these earlier?
They look really nice
No,
on
they
her.
broke.
Do you like them? Bree said, "Have you brought your glasses? Did you get them fixed yet?" And I went, "No."
'Cause it gets
no, I
bright, you
didn't."
know?
Something I would wear.
Can I see your Ray-Bans? Those are nice. Okay, anyway, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in with us, and have an amazing rest of your day, an amazing weekend, and we will see you next week. Next Thursday, the 27th, 5 o'clock, tune in, or not tune in actually.
Come
to our mastermind in Old Town Temecula. It's on the floor below Luke's, and we shall see you then. It's very valuable in growing your business. So take care, everyone. Life is good.